Hi everybody, Andy McPhee here, along with Doug Kenny, the main host of Relentless and Unstoppable. As with each series we do, I let people know how this started. Relentless and Unstoppable started about a year and a half ago after my coaching and mentoring of Doug for 6.5 years. Doug is an incredible human being who was he's dealing with high-functioning autism, and at school he was dealing with obesity and bullying and depression and medication and hospitalization, all those things that tend to come along with when you're dealing with something in life. And Doug, over the last few years, we've had an amazing journey. He's gone from 300 pounds down to close to under 200 now. He does yoga, running, walking. He's now into bodybuilding, which we've organized and helped him, do it the correct way. His diet is incredible, and it's an inspiration of his story, which is why I created this channel. And since then, I think Doug said to me the other day, and he can confirm this, we've had probably 181,000 views over the last year or so, which is great for a couple of guys who have no idea what they're doing at all, like zero. But we're getting better, and I'm actually learning off Doug now because he is very relentless. He never gives up.
Yeah. And I guess what interested me after filming the veterans for the first week was, okay, so Brendan, how long have you been working with the horses?
At the sanctuary, this is 1 year now. Yeah.
Great.
Just
Fantastic.
over a year. Yeah.
Fantastic. And have you noticed, I guess, just like a gradual change in you over that sort of period of time?
Yes, definitely. Because I feel like I can have a responsibility to not just look after myself, but look after other beings or creatures. Yeah. So and I see them like frog-legged people now, but yeah, sort of when they're standing next to me, I'm working with them. It feels like I talk to them and it's fun.
Yeah.
They're just like people, like
yeah.
They just look a bit different, but yeah.
A lot of horse people and a lot of veterans that I met that did a lot of work with the horses, they all said to me, I much prefer horses to people. I much prefer hanging out with these horses, But when we finished filming after the first week of the course and the veterans were finishing up, that first week, and then they were going back to their lives, which were very dysfunctional, I said to Scott, like, what happens now? Because they've had this great week in the country. They've made these kind of small breakthroughs but now they're going back to the real world, back to really dysfunctional environments. And he said, well, that's why I encourage them to keep volunteering with my program, keep learning horsemanship skills, keep working with the horses. So when I realized, okay, that's what he does, I thought it'll be very important. I was just interested to see how many of them would keep working with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could easily do a week in the country, have a great time, and then just, you get back into your old routine and you just forget about it. You think, it's too hard to go to the stables this weekend. I've got other stuff, or I'm feeling depressed, or I can't be bothered, or whatever. But so many of them keep working with him after that initial week. And they like Brendan, they'll work for a year or 2 years or 3 years. So those connections that they make with the horses and Scott, they're really strong. Like, anyone that wants to keep doing that sort of work year on year is getting something very powerful out of it.
Yeah, wow.
And to be able to film people's journeys over a 3-4 year period was just amazing, because you really see genuine, real life transformation of people. You see the tiny seeds of it beginning in the first week of the film, with that first part of with the first course. But then, you cut to some of their breakthroughs 3+ years later, and they're clearly in very different places in their lives, and so that was amazing for me to see that the journeys that they went on,
Yeah, it's amazing. And Brenton just mentioned something then, that he talks to the horses, and when I've had the opportunity to be around horses, because I don't go around a lot, you can feel they're a little tense around you because, you know, a lot of films that you would know, you've had to ride horses. I'm not really that confident, and I can feel it because the horse starts to feel it too. And then you think, oh, no, don't, stay calm, Andy, stay calm, because
That's right.
like it. And I got through, one horse tried to throw me off when I was doing professional wrestling. I wanted to learn to ride a horse because of the acting. So my friend, who was a pro wrestler, but also into horses, full on equestrian, right? He said, we got a horse, come out, we'll jump on. I did it. He said, this used to be a stunt horse. I went, okay, hang on. Has it been deemed trained? Because I don't want to get on that horse and suddenly it's going to go, I'll show you what I can do, right?
Yeah.
Not with me on the back. Well, it lasted 2 weeks, and then it decided to show me that, I don't really want you on my back anymore. And up it went, mate. I hung on, and all I could hear is him saying, pull back, and I just did everything he told me, and I didn't get kicked off, but it was scary. It was really scary. Powerful machines they are. And this wasn't the horses you're talking about. This is a horse that has been, you know, domesticated for a long time, but oh boy, when he said you're not on my back, I was fearing for my life, I could tell you.
Well, you know, in the film, I mean, there's a thoroughbred that they bring out of the float right at the start of the film, and I think Scott says something like, this horse has never been anywhere except the racetrack. So it's only been at the racetrack in the stalls, and then it gets taken out onto a track with the big wooden palings that run around it, you know. So it's never been on a farm. It's never been like where there's huge expanses of like farm paddocks and just normal wire fences. So anyway, they let these horses go, and the horses just ran straight down the paddock, straight back up the paddock, and then straight through a wire fence. And we all kind of went, fuck, what's happened here? And he said, oh, shit. And it wasn't good. It was like they could have really hurt themselves. But he said they're so uneducated because they're coming from the racing industry. They don't even see that fence.
Wow.
Like they need to see the big palings that you have around racecourses and stuff for them to go, oh, that's a fence, don't run into it. So to get on an ex-thoroughbred racehorse, you definitely want to know what you're doing. You could really end up in a bad way, you know.
That's again, see, there's so many great stories here that you can use as analogies for people. Like, the horse is just trained to be on the racetrack. It's never been in anything but fences surrounding it. But the minute you remove the fences, it's got freedom, but it doesn't know what to do with it until it's. And same as human beings in those cases, we're trapped in our own fences, and when they're taken away, it's intimidating because you think, okay, wow, I can go do something now. Something different. And so it must be, that's why we need specialists, coaches or mentors to help you get through those severe traumas of when that freedom's been given to you, like the horses have. So wow, it's just, I was not expecting stories like this. Like, it's pretty incredible, Nick. And you got to be really congratulated for, you know, stepping out doing this, because that film, when's it coming out?
So we've just pitched it at, my sales agent's just pitched it at MIPCOM, which is the documentary market for films. And we're just looking at offers now. So it'll be coming out next year. Yeah. And we're literally looking at different companies that want to bring it out, when they want to do it, how they want to do it, that sort of stuff.
It's going to make a big difference. It's going to make a huge difference, you know. And that's part of what Doug and myself are doing in a small way. Like, Doug was the instigator of this because of our coaching. I said, you know what, let's just interview you and call it Relentless and Unstoppable from a book I read. And I said, let's talk about your story. And then all of a sudden it expanded to like incredible guests, and it's getting better and better. And like having you on board when I realized the documentary, it truly is inspiring people and getting people to, especially when your film comes out, people getting to watch it, because you don't know whose life you're going to save by watching that documentary.
Yeah, look, it's funny, you know, I remember we've been filming on and off for a couple of years. I had a bunch of footage. I was trying to look through it. I was trying to work out, you know, the story, which characters I'm going to follow, all that sort of stuff. And I remember feeling pretty overwhelmed by it all and thinking, I don't know, where does this film end and how am I going to pay for it and all that sort of stuff. And I heard another filmmaker talking about, he just released a drama film, right? and he was talking about the movie, and he said something like, well, let's be honest, this film's not, it's a movie. Hopefully people are entertained by it, but it's not going to save anyone's life. Right. And you go, well, that's fair enough. Like, it's a drama film. It's, 2 hours, a crime film, I think. And, it's 2 hours of entertainment. And he probably did it really well. But I was thinking, well, but what if I could put this film together and it did save people's lives? Like, what if the impact of the film really did turn the lights on for people that were really struggling,
That's really incredible.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm hoping the film does, I'm really hoping that it does get seen by enough people that, like, there's so many, I mean, just one group, like if you just talked about veterans in Australia, there's a lot of veterans that are really struggling, and they'll see this film or hear about this film or whatever through their networks and their communities and stuff. I've no doubt there'll be some veterans that feel like they can keep fighting and trying to find some hope and some healing for what they're going through after seeing the film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I've no doubt people will see it and go, I want to get in touch with Scott, or I want to try working with horses myself, or I want to try something different to what I'm doing. Maybe that's not working,
Mm. Oh, I'm glad you didn't listen to the person who said it's not going to save someone's life.
Well, no, he wasn't talking about my film. He was talking about his own film.
Oh, his own film. Oh,
he was saying, no, he just made like a fiction film, and it was coming out. And I just remember in the interview him saying, I think I've made a good film. It's really entertaining, but I'm not kidding myself. It's not going to save someone's life, It's not going to cure cancer or something. And I remember thinking, well, that's fair enough, Not every film has to do that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, no, but potentially I have a film here that can save people's lives. And that's really that thought kept me going through all the obstacles and the hurdles that you have to get over to get a film financed and to get it finished and to get it out into the world,